This is Mrs. Bernard from MISDA Kids with another Sabbath story for you this week. Do you know what these flowers are called? That's right, they're called daffodils. And daffodils are known for bringing hope, joy, and the thought of new beginnings, probably because they're one of the first flowers to bloom in the springtime. They sure do brighten up the landscapes with their cheerful yellow, orange, pink, and white flowers. They come in all different sizes, and in fact, there's over 20 species and over 12,000 hybrids. These flowers are grown by planting bulbs into the ground in the fall, and they bloom every year, which means it's called a perennial. Did you know the flower has also been used to make medicines that help with the whooping cough and asthma? Well, I have a story for you today. It is called The Daffodil Principle by Geraldine Edwards. The story goes like this. There was a grandmother who came to visit her daughter and her grandchildren. And the kids were so excited. They said, "Grandmother, you have to come. We have to go visit the daffodil garden." But the grandmother was reluctant. "I like to visit you and I want to spend time, but I don't want to drive any farther than I have to. I already drove a long way to your house." But the kids kept begging, "Oh, you must come see the daffodils before they're all gone." After much persuasion, the grandmother said, "Okay, I'll go with you." So the family got into the car and made the long trip to the daffodil garden. "You aren't going to want to miss this experience," said the kids. "They are gorgeous." After a while of driving, they turned down a small gravel road, and the grandmother saw a small church. On the far side of the church, she saw a hand-painted sign with an arrow that said "Daffodil Garden this way." They got out of the car, and the grandmother took each of the children's hands as they walked down the path. And as they turned the corner, the grandmother looked and she gasped. Oh my! Before her lay the most glorious, beautiful sight. It looked as if somebody had taken gold and poured it all over the mountain peak and the surrounding landscapes. The flowers were planted in majestic, swirling patterns like ribbons of deep orange, creamy white, lemony yellow, salmony pink. Each one was a variety planted in groups that made it look like it swirled like its own golden river. There was almost 5 acres, over 5 acres of flowers. And like everybody who saw this, the lady asked, "Who did this? It is absolutely amazing." The kids are like, "Grandma, it's just one lady and she lives here. See the house on the property?" And as she looked, the kids said, "Come on, let's go to the porch. There's a sign that is on her patio that's going to answer all of your questions." So they walked closer, and the grandmother saw the poster. It said, "Answers to the questions I know that you are asking." The first line said something really simple. All it said was 50,000 bulbs. The second line said, "One woman, one at a time, 2 hands, 2 feet, and 1 brain." And the third line said, "Began in 1958. Can you imagine this one woman who 40, 50, 60 years and years before began one bulb at a time, bringing her vision of beauty and joy to this little hidden mountaintop? She planted one bulb at a time, year after year, and totally changed the world that she lived in. She had created something extraordinary, magnificent, beautiful, and inspiring. And you know, this principle of the daffodil garden has taught many lessons throughout the years. You know, God wants us to move towards our goals and our desires. Sometimes it's going to take a long time. And one step at a time, one baby step at a time, we can multiply our time through daily effort and accomplish magnificent things. we can change the world. You know, in Ephesians 5, verses 15 and 16, God encourages us by saying, "Therefore, be careful how you walk, not as unwise men, but as wise, making the most of your time, because the days are evil." I love this story, and I hope that it will help remind us that we should use our time each day to bring the hope and joy of Jesus to those around us. So when you see the daffodil in these next few weeks, we're going to see a lot of them come up. I pray that you will remember to bring the hope and joy of Jesus to those around you.